First thing that comes to mind is for sellers, it's a hard pill to swallow that 5 to 6% of the proceeds of your house theoretically could go to a realtor. So if you're looking at a $500,000 home, that's $25 to $30,000 that's going toward realtor commissions on both sides. And so I think that's tough because I feel like people think, who is this person kind of stealing from me? I think another thing that kind of comes to mind is realtors make it look easy. And when something seems easy and someone's getting, let's say, arguably a lot of money for an easy task, and I'm saying easy in quotes, then that I think can kind of come across as scammy for folks. So I think one great way to think about this is the, let's say, seller that wants to sell their home for sale by owner. So you see it all the time in Bloomington. You'll see someone not wanting to use a realtor. They'll put a for sale by owner sign. Maybe they put, if they're tech savvy, maybe they'll put that listing on Zillow, or maybe they'll put it on Facebook Marketplace or something like that to get some exposure. I think where people, or sellers at least, really start to realize the value that a realtor can bring to the home selling process is scheduling showings. Scheduling showings is, excuse my language, a pain in the ass if you're a for sale by owner. Because think about it, if you don't have a realtor representing you and you're a seller, you're now the one that is fielding all the interest and all the calls from other buyers, from other realtors who want to see your home. And then, oh, by the way, then you've got to coordinate showing them the house. And so when you're working with a realtor in the Bloomington market, at least, we have systems in place that help our sellers schedule showings seamlessly. And so all a seller has to do is decide what's the window of time that they want their home to be shown. And then it's as simple as another realtor representing a buyer being able to schedule a showing. And what's cool about having two realtors work both sides of the transaction is that we're bound by a code of ethics. And I can say very confidently that I have some amazing colleagues in other realtors in this market. Yeah. So when you're selling a home and you're using a realtor, depending on what price point you're in, that seller is going to pay a commission. And that commission could range, it could be anywhere from maybe 5 to 7%. And I think the most important thing is to show my client, what are they getting for that commission? What's the value add? So we touched on a little bit on negotiating on your behalf. We touched on helping coordinate showings. Other things that we do is we market the hell out of your property so that your property is going to get put up on all the third-party sites that highlight listings. I mean, the main ones being Realtor.com, Zillow, and there's a bunch of others. We also use social media to really help support getting exposure to the home. We get professional photography, photographs of the home to make your home look its best. We also do video tours of your home. So we're really skilled and we do everything in our power to ensure that your home gets the most exposure. We market it. We also do open houses. So an open house is a great way to invite the community to your home. We typically do those on Saturday or Sunday in the early afternoon. That's pretty common, at least in this market. And you get a lot of good foot traffic. A lot of times sellers will get under contract day of that they had an open house. So those are the big ones. And I think just also just having peace of mind that like, that you can ask us a question anytime and that you've got someone in your corner advocating on your behalf. I think one thing that sets me apart is my construction background. So I do own a local construction company in town. And I think with that knowledge, I am really able to help my clients when we walk through a home, really help them understand the work that might be involved in making that home move-in ready for them. Everyone's got different standards in kind of what they expect in a home as far as move-in readiness and certain aesthetics that they would like. And so being able to understand the components, the ins and outs of a home really helps support my clients. That construction background also plays out during the inspection response phase when we're under contract. So if I'm representing a seller and we have a buyer on the other side that submits an inspection response, I'm really good at kind of unpacking what's being said in an inspection report that's provided by a third party inspector, walking my clients through that and being able to negotiate whatever side of the transaction that I'm working as it relates to an inspection response. So that's huge for my clients. One of the biggest things for me is transparency. And I never want my clients to feel confused or feel like they can't ask a question because they don't understand or they don't know what question to ask. And so, in being transparent and really breaking down the transaction in digestible bites for them, I create this relationship where my clients feel like they can come to me for anything, regardless of how silly the question may seem to them. Like, if they've got a silly question, I want to be the first person they're calling. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want them to feel like their question is silly. I want them to ask. And I really create that a space where I'm never talking over my clients, and I'm really good at picking up on social cues. So I can tell fairly quickly when I get the glazed over look. And so tells me I need to go back to the drawing boards and really trying to explain to them what's happening. Realtors get paid when they close a transaction. As far as I'm concerned in my relationship with my clients, what I'm building and what I'm hoping to establish with the people that I work with is I want my clients to feel like they can utilize me prior to the transaction, obviously during the transaction, but also post transaction. And so, really being a continued resource for them, whether they have an immediate home buying or selling need or not. And so, what does that mean in terms of like practice and the services I can provide outside of home buying and home selling? I'm well connected. Realtors, and I'm definitely in this category, know a ton of people in the community. We have tons of connections with other local businesses, with contractors. We can provide recommendations on a number of different things. And so, if I can establish a relationship with my client where they think of me when they have a plumbing issue in their house, and they can call me and they're like, "Hey, Lance, I'm having this plumbing issue. Any good plumbers?" Actually, yes, I do know some good plumbers. So that's one way that I think that realtors can be helpful outside of the home buying and selling process. I also think it's important to note that like realtors are really plugged into their community. And so I would hope that people feel like they can give me a call whenever. It doesn't have to necessarily be about real estate. So I'm an active member of the local synagogue in town. I'm actually vice president, currently serving as vice president on the board, which is a joy and also a lot of work, but it makes me definitely connected to my community in that way. And also my connection to the running community. So I'm plugged into the running community. I'm also plugged into the IU community through my wife Liz. IU brings so many different amenities and things to do in town, and so whether it be sports or the arts, very plugged into that community. And then the local school district, MCCSC, having been a school counselor working in MCCSC, but now having a child who is a student through MCCSC, I'm very much so plugged into that community and that world. There's a lot that my family and I are involved in.